My next guest got a big fight coming up here. Going to be taking on Alberto Trujillo, BORROKA 2, March 28th. And if you can't make that one in person, you can go check it out live on Spectation Sports. It is Israel Galvan back here on the program. Israel, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, feeling great. I'm ready to hurt someone.
I can tell. And we're excited for this fight, man. When did you find out? How did this all come together? You getting this opportunity?
Um, I have a great management now that I signed to Ruby Sports Entertainment. I think about 6 or 7 weeks, I learned about the fight, and they told me that was going to be the main event, and I was excited. I'm excited, so I'm ready to put on a show like always.
Awesome. How did you link up with Ruby Sports? Obviously one of the best in the game. They rep, all types of fighters, Piotr Jan, you name it, Armin. They, how did you link up with them?
Here at Syndicate, John Wood, he recommended me to sign with a bigger, a better fight management. So I went that route instead of other routes that he offered me, other options. So I chose Ruby.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Let's talk about your last fight. Another great victory there over CJ Hamilton, who fought on Contender Series. How happy were you with your performance, especially getting another finish?
Really happy.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised that I put him on his face, but I knew I was going to finish him. So it was just a matter before time. But he's a veteran. He's a real veteran, and that's why it took me 2 rounds, and then in the third, it took me less than a minute. But he's a true veteran for sure.
And speaking of veterans, you got another one in this fight, 14 fight vet here in Trujillo. Just stylistically, how are you looking at this fight? How do you feel like you match up against him?
I think it's a bad matchup for him. I think it's a great matchup for me. I know he's been around the block and he's fought some good guys, but I think he's never fought anybody with my power, with the pressure that I put on the fighter. He's never fought anyone like me. I can guarantee you he's going to get finished worse than his last finish, because he's been finished before and once, and I think it was a little bit of an early stoppage, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So this time I'm going to leave no questions that
we see. Sorry, go ahead. Didn't mean to.
Very good.
Okay, cool.
Very good.
You got the hat on. Obviously, you're in Vegas right now training at Syndicate. I think the last time we did an interview, I don't know if you were training there. How did you end up linking up with that gym? One of the best in the world. Obviously, they got the champ there, Merab Dvalishvili.
I've been coming to Syndicate for, man, almost 2 years now, but I haven't been coming like super consistently. I mean, I've been coming here and there, but now I'm doing all my camps here. So
Awesome.
yeah, I do spend like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks here. Last year I did spend like around 6 months here. So
Good.
I'm just evolving and getting better here.
Who are you getting to work with over there? Obviously, never a shortage of bodies in the gym, I'm sure, to train with.
Yeah, I mean, I got Vince. I train with Vince, Vince Morales. I've worked a little bit with Marab, but he's a little bigger. He's a little bigger guy, so
Mhm.
I try not to go with him too often. A lot of great fighters here, UFC fighters, of course. Um, Loma, what's her last name? Loma
Yep.
Lambu.
I can't pronounce it either, but I know exactly what you're talking about. The
Yeah,
UFC
yeah,
fighter. Yeah.
she's great. She's awesome. She has a very big skill set on her feet. So I try to train with her as well and pick some things off her, because she is a 9-time Muay Thai world champion. So I definitely respect that.
That's great. I actually just interviewed Vince yesterday, so it's funny you mentioned that, because he's fighting Raul Rosas, right? So kind of neat that you guys have fights both coming up here pretty soon. In your case, very, very soon. Talk to me quickly about John Wood and his tutelage. I mean, this is a guy that has trained, world champions. We saw that with Merab. I hear so many good things about his knowledge and his corner work and all that. How much has he leveled up your game since you got a chance to work with him, especially more extensively now?
I think it's having him in my corner is like invaluable. Having him oversee me in my camp is invaluable. The work that he puts in as well. He's always evolving. He's always watching fights, being in fighters' corners. So he has a different aspect of the game than I think than a lot of coaches. So I'm very grateful that I'm here in the gym and that he's on my side.
Take me through the weight cut. How's that going? Obviously, we have some time here, but everything looking good ahead of this big fight.
Yeah, it's going to be no issues. It's going to be here in Vegas, so I'm not going to feel rushed. I know what I'm going to make the weight. So, you know, it's just a matter of before time of me hurting this guy and putting my hands on him.
Do you use the PI at all? I know they have like guest passes and stuff, or do you just stay pretty much at Syndicate?
No, I pretty much stay at Syndicate. I don't really go to the PI since I'm not a UFC fighter. I
Mhm.
know I could, good go as a guest, but I want to save that moment for when I'm actually a UFC fighter.
There you go. Good visualization thing too. I imagine just, hey, I'm not
Yeah.
going to go until I get the opportunity. That's great. So we talked about John Wood. I'm assuming he'll be in your corner. Who else is going to be in the cage with you?
Uh, Chris Trammell.
Mm-hmm.
Here we call him Trauma. Uh, Coach Danny here. He's a boxing coach here. Obviously, my father. He's going to be in my corner, and yeah, that's about it.
There we go. And you mentioned it there. You're going to finish him. How do you see this fight unfolding on March 28th? How do you see it going down?
He's a little tough. He's a tough guy. I think he can take some punches, but I don't know how well he's going to be taking my punches. I'll give him 1 round. I'll give him 1 round. I think in the second I get it done and put him, lights out. Either anyway, either he doesn't tap or I hit him with a punch he doesn't see coming.
This is a big fight for you. We mentioned it there. This is a big event, actually, if you look at who's on this card as well, and you're headlining it. A win here. Where does this put you in the grand scheme of things? Not looking past March 28th, obviously.
I think it puts me right there at the forefront for a call,
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've earned the call. I deserve the call, and you know, I'm what the 25-pound division needs in the UFC.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's exciting. And also, too, you put yourself in a great situation. You train in Vegas. You got Ruby Sports as management. Obviously, they've got a lot of guys in the UFC. Do you feel like the timing of everything coming together, this event's in Vegas, too, that it kind of works out well? I always feel like fighters that are based in Vegas, you're going to get more opportunities because they're doing so many events there, too, right?
Yeah. Here in Vegas, I'm around the corner for that call. In case someone misses weight or someone pulls out, I'm right here. I'm always ready. So I've never said no to a fight.
Yeah.
I'll take any fight, even at 135, maybe 145. That's if they offer, but I don't think so. They're gonna be like, nah, he's too small.
Now, I got to ask you about this just because it's interesting how things have changed since the last time you and I spoke. Mitch Raposo's in the UFC. Is that a fight? I know obviously he's fighting up or whatever, but is that a fight that you would want at some point? Because I know there was a lot going into that fight and it didn't end up happening.
To be honest, I really don't care. I think it shouldn't happen because he's already pulled out. He's already pulled out of the fight, day before weigh-in. So I
Yeah.
don't think he would even accept the fight. I'll accept the fight. I think it's like I already got ready for you once. I can do it again, and this time I have a better team around me, a better coaches. So he'll be in trouble. I know he's been here in Vegas and he's never showed up at Syndicate because he knows this is my gym and this is my territory. He's never stepped in here since I've been here.
That is interesting. Cool. Well, we're looking forward to this one. Like I mentioned, BORROKA 2, March 28th in Vegas. You can watch it on Spectation Sports. Israel, it's great catching up with you, man. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Thank you. I want to obviously thank Syndicate. I want to thank John Wood for evolving me as a fighter. I want to thank Danny here at Syndicate. I want to thank Chris. I want to thank all the team, all the whole team, all the guys, all the girls here, helping me putting in that work. I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank Dream King LLC. I want to thank Healthy Hydration. I want to thank Chow Beef Jerky. I want to thank Next Level Physical Therapy, James Lucas, my nutritionist. Um, yeah, and I want to thank also BORROKA for putting me as a headliner. My last fight, I told him in post fight in the octagon, I said, "Hey, I deserve to be in the main event," and they saw that I should have been in the main event because the main event was, it wasn't a good fight. So they saw that I deserved it, and they listened to me and they put me there. So I want to give a huge thanks to BORROKA.